while you were busy logging on with your Mac doing OS updates and diddling yourself, probably to some 15-minute porn circa 1993. Me and Alan were doing real broadcast journalism, comparing notes, talking about the articles that we have coming up, reading the footnotes, comparing them with other sources that we read about, making sure that our journalistic integrity is up to snuff.
It sounded like to me when I logged in, you were ogling old Tiger Woods' body with high and low.
Me and Alan were talking about the work that we didn't do today while at work by watching the first round of the Masters. Because Tiger Woods is back, man. Fuck you.
Is that not amazing, though? Do you think the PGA called Tiger at like his rehab facility and were like, listen, lefty's not coming. And look, we didn't exactly throw you under the bus when you got hit in the head with a 9-iron. So do you think you could do us a solid and maybe just put these next 8 weeks of rehab on the sideline, come out and play a few rounds for us this week? What do you say? I think I'll be there.
That call may have happened, but I also think that my man was like, where I can win when I'm at like 80%? Augusta.
It's true.
Just because he's that smart of a golfer and he knows that course so well, and like he doesn't really have to be overpowering. Actually, overpowering's bad. So yeah, he was like, "Yep, I could probably pull that off." And the PGA was like, "Yes, please, money, please."
This doesn't. It's a bit apples to orange comparison. But do you remember when we talked about Alex Smith being surprised by his family when they shot out? They had like champagne getting popped, and Murray, you had said because he had that sock on, you were like, I don't know,
RoboCop leg.
It's certainly like a couple uncertain fucking teeter totters while he was running away from
a couple baby deer steps. Like, all right, it got it going.
I'm not saying that's what it looked, because remember what was like last November, October, they showed video of Tiger on the driving range for the first time hitting. Every male's pee-pee got hard that watches golf. Like, oh my God, look, he's back. And I remember watching that. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. That don't look too good. I don't look too confident.
Yeah. No, he looks okay. And I mean, he was putting it real good. So, I mean, he does that all fucking week. It'll be okay.
There was an interesting factoid about his rounds at Augusta. He's only shot under 70 twice in the first round.
Yeah.
He did it today, didn't he? Didn't he
end
up
71? So he's 1 under. So 69 would be 3 under, which is it's a great round. So, I mean, you do that 4 times, you're in the hunt, if not winning. But it just fascinates me that some of the ways he's dominated, especially like those early 2000 years when he was just smoke show in the field, And I had to think he just comes out like, drop a 1 under, drop even, drop 2 under, and then next day, I'm going to make everyone suck my ass as I wrap that second round up.
Well, that's the thing is like, that's what's I think the weather's trending that way, right? It's trending towards traditional kind of Augusta, dry, windy. So it's going to play into his favor even more. It's going to get harder for them young whippersnappers who are playing this for like their first, second, or third time and are still kind of figuring it out. Because this isn't a place where you just kind of play it, and get a feel. You come like once a year, a lot of these people, you know what I mean? Maybe twice. So this isn't a course that they know it, but that it's not like the back of their hand. And I think that's what keeps a lot of the veterans, like, it's usually not anybody who's been there, under 4 times that wins the Masters. It takes a certain bit of knowledge. And I think, it plays right into Tiger's hands. He hangs around. Another 1 under tomorrow, maybe 2 under. Good to go.
He does have a lot of ground to make up, though. I mean, while that 1 under was impressive, that's a big leaderboard. There's a lot of folk between him and the top. And he was at Sung J M, dropped 60. He's like 67. He's 5 under.
Yeah, something crazy.
Yeah.
Man, Augusta always pulls him back in, though.
That's right.
It's okay.
Well, you guys are sports travelers. You guys go for big events. Have you guys ever been to the Masters?
No, it's so hard.
Yeah.
You have to enter a lottery, and like people literally have waited decades.
Wow.
They just don't get it, and then eventually you'll hit, maybe. or you'll die.
I know a person who's been, you guys know well, Kilby, who's been to a practice round.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, like even that, like when you do hit, you get like a practice round. You're like, fuck. Okay, that's cool. Because of that, the actual course and the grounds that it's on is fucking. It's like, I guess it's like going to like fucking Fenway or like old Yankees. You know what I mean? It's like an iconic stadium, if you will.
Yeah. Well, I was only asking because I always wonder what's like the bathroom situation at a place like that, because you're in like a sea of people, and you don't you like kind of like claim your territory and just kind of, do you stay or you move around? Do you become like a school of fish that goes from like hole to hole?
Alan and I went to the same event last summer, and I've been to a major. I went to a PGA Championship in Bethpage. Bathroom situations, you have colonies of urinals strategically placed throughout the entire course, and I assume Augusta's no different. But in terms of now the second part of that question was in terms of like your traveling or your viewing pleasure. Is that what you were asking?
Well, only because like I wouldn't want to go take a leak if I had a good, spot. Like I just remember being at several, like, is that a Monday Night Raw hat that you're wearing?
No, it's a tailor-made Raw hat, but we can roll with it.
Okay.
WrestleMania was this weekend. We could talk about that.
Yeah.
Because I can remember going to several WWE Monday Night Raw events, and like if you got prime territory at the front of the the cage area right there, the fencing, like you weren't leaving. You were gonna either piss in your pants, you're gonna try to pull one out and like out the side hole, or you were just gonna just hold it all day. And so I was wondering if it's the same thing at the golf courses. Like, do you just kind of mosey off and come back?
Literally, it's probably got to be like a porta potty company's like one of their best days of the year, like hands down, or best weeks of the year. You know what I mean? Because they're there for God knows how long. So yeah, tons of porta potties, and you do just kind of drift about. If you do have seats it's tough because depending on tournaments, they're usually like they're ticketed, so you have a seat, or it's like ticketed, but it's a general admission area. So if you got a dope seat, you might be just shit out of luck and you got to hang around. But that's why you have a buddy.
Yeah. And then there is like, if you're with like 3 or 4 people that are grazing over the rope or the line there, or is it something that's like holding people back and one person leaves, there's kind of a general unwritten rule that person then can come back with their friends. Ticket situation's a little bit different too. I'm not sure how Augusta does it, but where the major I was at, there were certain primo bleacher seats that were like, no, you have to have a ticket specifically for this bleacher. You can't come with your general admission ticket and roll in here. And then there were bleacher seats that were like first come, first serve, general admission. So, the early goers found the prime position. Us, people who were sucking down $13 beers. We just kind of moseyed about.
I saw a meme today, and it was like every man's dream is to follow Tiger Woods and suck down 20 beers. And it was this guy with like a stack like this thick, fucking of green Augusta cups, just right behind Tiger Woods, just trudging along, sweating because he's just sweating out fucking Miller Lights. I'm sure. It was delightful.
I'm a little under par myself, Tiger.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
We were at the PGA up at Bethpage. We were fortunate enough to see him, and we mapped it out to where we were like 7 holes ahead of him on this long, maybe I want to say like somewhere between 5 and 7 holes on this long par 4, and we were in the landing zone off the tee shot. So most guys were hitting in or around this area off the tee shot. You got to watch the second shot, and we were like, no, we ain't moving. Like, nobody fucking move. We're waiting for fucking Tiger Woods. It's like seeing a beetle, It's like and it was. I mean, when he was a hole behind us, it got like 3 times as crowded, and when he teed off, it got like 10 times as crowded and loud, and everyone's just like, it's nothing. He didn't do anything impressive. I think he parred the hole, but everyone just wants a shot to see Tiger Woods, and I was like 30 yards from him, kind of like, oh God, there he is. God, here's my moment, Tiger, I love you. Oh, then he hit me with his 9-iron.
Sounds about right.
God.
and I rubbed dirt in it so it'd scar over.
That's right. There's actually a real the tournament that took place 2 weeks ago, the Players. Alan, you know it. That's the one that has the famous Island Green. Yeah. And there's during the practice rounds, they have a caddy, like a caddy tournament for that hole. So all the players throw into a pot that gets to be around like anywhere from like $6,000 to $7,000. And then the caddy who takes a swing from wherever the practice tee is, gets the closest, wins the pot, wins all the money. All right. But a lot of times these caddies, they don't have their own clubs. They have to borrow a professionals. And this guy was like in a 3-person group, one of which was Tiger Woods. Tiger let him borrow his club. He's like, the grips are so small. He was fearful that he was going to let it go into the water. He's like, God, I'd have had to go fish it out for him probably. Here I am with Tiger Woods 9-iron, fearful that this puppy's going to go. Imagine that.
Nike would have flown one in for him. They would have fucking airdropped it. It was just fucking straight from the sky. Have it fucking parachuted in.
R7736, initiate it, go. Just like fucking Iron Man.
Got his own fucking brand. Like, they're his irons.
Yeah. Yeah. Now he's with TaylorMade now, though.
Yeah, he's with TaylorMade.
Yeah.
And like he has his own variety. They're just they're a slightly modified version of the like regular market iron that TaylorMade makes, like the pure blade basically, but it's got his little stamp on it, and it's just like slightly designed slightly different. Those are the Tiger Woods irons. They're expensive as fuck.
And he plays with Bridgestone balls, which a lot of guys who play under the TaylorMade brand play pretty much all of it. Like you play the ball and you play the club. I had to think there's some preferential treatment with the Tiger Woods. Like, you want to play with
my man's made out of Nike, and he's wearing fucking FootJoy shoes this week. And Nike made a statement, and they were like, "We're fucking useless, and we haven't been able to engineer something to Tiger's needs yet. So we were like, wear whatever you need, man. You're fucking Tiger Woods. What are we gonna do? Not fucking have you as our guy?" And so my man turns up in the bright pink fucking mock neck. Yeah. Fucking Nike.
Well, I mean, they don't really make shoes for fucking paraplegics, so no. I don't really blame him.
He does have the big old FootJoys with like the large outer fucking like sole for support. It's nice.
I'm surprised Nike just didn't work out a deal with FootJoy where they just painted on a check. Just like spray painted over the FootJoy.
They're like, you want to collab? If I collab, mean just put a check on those and we'll get out of here.
It'll be your shoes, but it'll be all of our branding.
Yeah. Sell them in our stores. And then slowly we'll buy FootJoy.
Yeah. Shit. Middle Classholes, everybody. Murr, Allen, and Fox, man. Hey, baseball's back. Opening day was today. Lots of games got canceled, as they normally do in creepy ass April weather. God, they I don't know if you had a chance to look at it. It was like all New York teams, Minnesota, Cleveland. I think Cleveland played. But it was I play fantasy baseball because I'm a dork. But in a lot of those games that the PPD postponed.
PPD.
That's right.
Dang. No, I didn't watch any baseball today. Actually, that's strangely enough, it was all golf for me.
Yeah. I didn't even realize it was on. Like, they do a shit market job, man. Baseball does not promote itself well at all. They just expect the people that already pay attention, just like, all right, tune in, right?
Because there's no real hullabaloo. They're like, the beginning of the season, you're like, of football, you're like, I've been waiting 9 months for fucking Sundays and meats and beer. And fucking baseball's like, here's opening day, and we're going to play for like the next 160 days straight, bitches. Come find us. Mm-hmm. Like, they don't care, and because you're plenty of time.
It took a little wind out of their sails with the quote unquote strike.
Oh, well,
I mean, they aren't going to miss any games, but I do think that there was there seems to be some, at least for baseball purists, some sort of internal clock, like end of March or very beginning of May. Here it comes, and once we lost out on that kind of groove of a week plus. It took a little bit of wind out of people's sails. But, I mean, a lot of teams will play their first game tomorrow, including the Orioles, which 3:05 first pitch. I'll be locked in, ready to roll, excited for about 10 minutes. Anyway, it was exciting. It's a good sports weekend, man.
Yeah.
I gotta throw the d on the end of man.
Weird.
Yeah. I think these IPAs are kicking in.
Yeah. Well,
already.
Now, about 10 minutes ago, I was trying to segue into the bathroom usage thing. I do have a question for you guys.
Oh, all right.
I brought this.
You have a real question. All right, fair enough.
No, I have a real question. Now, I brought this up to you guys like via Messenger a couple of weeks ago. But I was on the job. I had to take a leak. I went to Wawa, and I go to use the urinal, and I see this guy standing over by the mirror, and he's on his phone. As soon as I start taking a leak, he puts his phone in his back pocket. He comes over to the urinal directly next to me, and he starts moaning. Not in like a refreshed, like I'm letting out urine and my bladder feels better kind of moaning. More of like a hushed sexual tone moaning, like, And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, all right, you're already going. What can you do? You can't stop. And then his phone rings in his back pocket. And it wasn't like he didn't miss a beat. He just went like, whoop, grabbed the phone out of his back pocket, walked immediately away from the urinal. Like, yo, what's up? And I'm just thinking, should I have said something to this gentleman? 2, was I right to be creeped out? And 3, do we live in an era now where I would be in the wrong? Or was this guy masturbating next to me while I was taking a piss?
All right. Well, first, do we confirm he was masturbating, or are we just assuming from the moans?
Okay. Well, I'm assuming from the moans that he was pleasuring himself in some capacity. And isn't this the kind of thing that happens occasionally? Isn't this what George Michael was doing at a roadside rest stop? Wasn't he like?
But I think. So here's the other question: where was it again? Was it a well-known homosexual glory hole jack off? A meetup location.
Is that public knowledge though? Like, okay, if I'm a straight man who doesn't get himself into those kind of situations, much like Ben Stiller in Something About Mary. Remember, he ends up at the rest stop, and they're like, I was just looking for my keys too, and they're all banging each other in the ass in the woods. Like, how would you know if you're at a?
Well, see, like, I mean, this is me. Okay, this is me knowing that you live where you grew up, right? For the most part, like you live in generally the same area. So I would assume you would know, like, I know that there's this car park over by the airport that I've heard tell of gay things happening in. I don't go there for any reason. I drive by it, and I oftentimes, I point it out to my wife, and I'm like, I heard that men, fillet men over here, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I don't care. It's not my business. I'm just saying I'm aware of it. I've heard about it. You get that? So that's all I'm saying is maybe you knew, and you're like, oh shit, maybe this is happening here, and I forgot and didn't even think about it.
It was a Wawa on Elkton Newark Road. So
okay,
it's like it wasn't like
Can the moans you said were that of pleasure, so we can rule out gonorrhea. It wasn't like he was stressing to piss and it was stinging or something like that. Correct? We can just rule something like that out. STI.
He might have just been like fucking with you.
I don't know. I feel like okay. I will take kind of like half credit there. I don't think he was fucking with me. I think he was like. Who was that senator who got himself in trouble for the toe tapping underneath the stall? You know what I'm talking about?
George Michael.
like 10 or 15 years ago. I cannot remember the senator. It was a GOP senator, and he was an older guy. And anyway, I feel like what this guy was doing was like almost like, hey, like making these noises like, I'm into something if you're into something, and waiting for me to acknowledge it. And then I didn't acknowledge it, and his phone rang, and he just immediately jumped away from the situation. So how do you deal with something like that? Can you deal? I guess my question was, as I was leaving, like, should I have confronted this guy? Should I have said something? Was I better off just letting it go? And in this new world we live in, like, am I like a homophobe if I'm like, hey, stop finding pleasure in the sounds of my piss in the back of the urinal, please?
Yeah, I mean, but what, like, when you say confront him, what's there to confront other than your general curiosity as to what the moans are? Hey man, what the fuck you moaning about? And this is assuming you've done piss.
Yeah,
you don't ask.
Like that immediately comes off in a way that's probably not favorable. That also harkens to your other question is like, does it make you look bad? Like, I think it's a tough time, like, because that you don't know the reaction. The reaction would be like, hey man, I just think you're handsome, and then you would look like an asshole because you freaked out on some guy who was just making an honest advance at you, and though you don't like that, he's entitled to do so. I feel. But he's like, my answer to you is, look, I don't think unless he like said something or like got way too close, other than urinal close. Obviously, you're very close at that point. But like, if he got like leaned over at the urinal, even closer to me, or touched me in any manner, then yeah, we would have had some discussions. But if not, I probably would have just wrapped up and got the fuck out of there real quick.
That's pretty much what I did. I didn't even wash my hands, and I was just like, okay, see you later.
Hold on.
I mean, you gotta remember. Yeah.
Let's clarify the sequence. Murr pulled his penis back in, then zipped up his pants, and then buttoned his top button.
and then buckled buttoned his button and buckled his buckle.
Let's just
yes.
You see how you could have got out of that situation a lot quicker, right?
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, that's a dangerous scenario you guys pull when you guys yank that thing out the hole, man. I'm telling you, that's not how you pee. I was peeing properly, and yes, it does take an extra couple of steps to seal up the package, but the proper amount of steps, and it really didn't take me that long. It was only the belt buckling that took any extra amount of time. And I'm way down. I got all sorts of shit like hanging off of my belt and stuff like that. I'm a working man. I'm a blue-collar guy.
Here's a question. What if you like fucking just holes open with your pants is the sign to the guy to be like, hey, what's up? Right. You know what I mean? Like, what if that's the sign you don't even know about?
Like proper peeing out of your pants? Like that's a sign to the homosexual community.
What you want to call it is neither here nor there. I'm just saying is that it could be a signal to the homosexual community in your area that you're down to clown.
Here's the thing, though. I don't even know how to address any of that. But the whole thing with him making the moaning sounds of pleasure, like, you guys are, I guess your advice is ignore it. I feel like you're giving me this is a dog in heat and it's better if you just let him finish.
Well, okay, hold on.
That's no.
Do we need to get more in depth? I mean, like I think you can just audibly differentiate a Q bar squared, like piss strength. Was he relieving himself in a manner that was like, oh, finally.
I didn't hear any piss. That was the first time I heard the.
That's new. That's new information.
What if he had like a grundle itch, and like he just turned it in there, scratched it, and was like, "Oh, fuck!"
He had to pull
some good stuff, and then got on out of there. But he got a phone call, didn't wash his hand, nasty grundle hand. But either way, maybe that was it. I'm hypothesizing.
Yeah, but he had to pull his dick out to scratch his grundle.
I know.
Well, did he pull his dick out? Did you see the man pull his dick out? Is what I'm saying.
Okay, listen. I feel if I looked down to see if his penis was in his hand, then he and I were having a whole different situation going on in the open stall right behind our backs.
Moaning at you, I would at least probably verify that. So I'm going to be honest about that. I might verify to make sure where this situation is going.
The first moan when I heard him go, I listened for pee, and I'm like, okay, I don't hear any pee. And then about 5 seconds later, I hear, I still didn't hear any pee, and I'm getting like that, the nervous sweats, you know, like where all of a sudden like your skin turns warm and you got automatic like liquid coming out of your pits. I'm like, okay, I got to get out of here. But I'd been holding this piss for like 30 minutes, and it was just not stopping. This was a minute and a half piss I'm taking, and then homeboy's phone rings, and it's like, yo, what's up? Like someone had just interrupted him for like your mom came home and you were watching like Juicy Juggly Joyriders and you were in a very awkward situation.
Was that,
so
Is that Juicy Juggling Joy Riders 1 or 2?
It's good.
Oh, it's always 2, baby.
Yeah.
Sequel's always better than the first.
Right.
The first one means they were on to something. The second one means they perfected the action.
They probably filmed them simultaneously. Just two's the better shit.
Porn works total opposite to actual movies. The originals are trash, but the sequels are great.
Well, what I was thinking about when I left, though, is like, we're guys, okay? I'm a small guy, but, I don't feel an ultimate fear of men, right? I can see how women can find men to be, like, hauntingly creepy in certain situations. And this was one of those hauntingly creepy scenarios that if this was like a unisex bathroom and I was doing that, I feel like I would be going to jail if there was a woman in the bathroom. And like you're saying, though, if this is an all male, club, if you will, like Alan, you said, like, hey man, you guys want to go do your thing. But I don't think you should sequester random strangers for your thing. Like if everybody there's got like a signal, like, hey, I'm down, then you're right. I don't really care. Do whatever you want. George Michael was framed, in my opinion.
That's what you got out of today's events, or yesterday's rather.
He's like, you see how easily one could be framed for being in such a location.
Maybe I combined two thoughts at the wrong time there, but that was two dudes who knew what was going on. This is a situation where one dude knew what was going on, and the other one's like, what the hell's going on right now? I'm in a very vulnerable position. Homeboy is in a very vulnerable position himself, but he's put himself there, and I've got my back basically to a guy who may want more than I deserve.
Yeah, man. The real deal breaker is that I assumed he was pissing. When you said he wasn't, that's news to me. Just unbuckles. We're assuming unbuckles.
Okay, so let's be clear here before we drop this one. You are telling me that what day was this? Was this today?
No, this was like 2 weeks ago now. I've been thinking about this for a while.
So 2 weeks ago, you at some point in your day had like a small, even smidgen, like fear of rape in a public bathroom. And,
I don't know
and then had to compartmentalize that move about your day.
Yeah. Yes.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay.
I felt assaulted in some capacity. I did. I felt a little like assaulted. I mean, he didn't touch me, but he grabbed my soul and gave it a good stroke.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is mentally, your mind went to a place that you were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It was fear. There was a fear. There was a fear of a very uncomfortable sexual fear that I was not willing to confront. And actually, this got brought back up because my kid came home with one of those little things like good touch, bad touch. And he had to color in like one color for good touch, like red for bad touch, blue for good touch. And I was sitting there. I was like, your babysitter wants to take you in the bathroom and not tell your parents. I'm like, yeah. Oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah, that can scar you. Yeah, you don't want that. I'm almost 43. And I feel scarred from a guy making two very sexual grunts next to me at a urinal.
I saw this same scenario on Jiggly Jugglers 4. The old babysitter to the bathroom trick.
It's every time.
Well, speaking of inappropriate, this brings us to our first news bit of the week. So a flight takes off from Phoenix headed for Seattle. Gentleman Antonio Sherrod McGarity, doesn't give an age, was arrested for masturbating at a minimum of 4 times. And quote, he thought it was kind of kinky. So here's the deal. He's sitting in seat F11. A female witness is sitting in 11E. And shortly after takeoff, and while the aircraft was in the air, McGarity exposes his penis, pulls down his pants and shorts, and begins masturbating. This is where things get gooey here. When the female seated next to him noticed the lewd behavior, she began taking pictures of McGarity. She doesn't alert the stewardess wants to document the event. Then, when he fell asleep after masturbating for roughly an hour. sat there and pulled his foot for an hour, and then presumably got one off and was like, "Ugh, yeah, gotta take a nap after that one, that marathon sesh." The female passengers told crew members about what she had witnessed and what was allowed to move to another seat. He was arrested. He had a few things to say about the passenger, but first, like, your thoughts on Mr. McGarity masturbating at a minimum 4 times, documented, and then getting arrested. Actually, excuse me, and it was Seattle to Phoenix, the other way around. My apologies.
Oh yeah, that's the big detail I was concerned about.
I'll tell you the detail I'm concerned about. He used his left and his right hands. That's
hey man, you're going for an hour. You got to tire out, man. You know
that is true. That is very true.
Yeah,
I got several questions actually. So okay, now the 4 times, did the 4 times occur within this hour, or was the first session an hour and he was just like, I got some more in the tank. Here we go, and then we went around 2.
Doesn't necessarily document the milestones from Seattle to Phoenix. What I can gather is that was round 1, and then there were 3 other sequential sessions after that, on 4 separate occasions, using both his left and right hand. That's just Southwest Airlines officers had said.
I almost feel like his seatmate is. He's obviously the most to blame, but I feel like the seatmate has a little bit of responsibility too here as well, because, okay, I get it. Okay, hey, is that guy jerking off? Get a picture so nobody thinks you're crazy. Then it's boom. You call the stewardess over.
Yeah.
How long is this now, timeline wise? Minute and a half maximum?
Yeah.
I feel like I would have hit the button as soon as homeboy's pants, not his underwear, his pants hit the floor.
Right. I'd have jumped out of my seat. And that's just like, I mean, there's nothing conspicuous or inconspicuous about this. Like your recent turn of events at a Wawa bathroom where someone was moaning while not pissing. This guy pulls his pants down. See, this is F. So he had I guess he had the camouflage of the window seat. But here's where you had said she is partly to blame. It did get into that a little bit. McGarity had advised he had asked the female witness if she minded if he masturbates. Hey, no big deal. Hey, man, we got a long flight from Seattle to Phoenix. I think I want to tug one out. Do you mind? According to McGarity, the female witness put her hands in the air and said, it doesn't really matter. She denied that, of course, but he thought her response was, quote, kind of kinky. And I got to say, I mean, can't blame that logic. It is kind of kinky. Hey, FC got a 4-hour flight.
And if you're the type of guy who, even if you have the balls to ask and they give you that wishy-washy answer, I feel like anything but no is absolutely go right ahead.
Maybe she thought it was a joke. Maybe perhaps. Do you mind if I masturbate? It doesn't matter. Oh, okay. An hour later, as most men do.
That's really the thing. If he had just knocked it out quick or something, you know what I mean? It might not be a big deal. But like, I think it's the prolonged masturbation that really weirds people out, you know?
Yeah. Okay. And what also 1 hour, she's the only person. There weren't staff walking up and I mean what flight have you ever walked on where a flight attendant hasn't passed 2 or 3 times within an hour?
What was it, from Seattle to Phoenix?
Yeah.
It doesn't even seem like that's that far a flight. Like 4 hours maybe?
No, yeah. I think they said 3 and some shade. Well, shade under 4. Sorry, my bad.
A shade under 4, and he spent a quarter of it jerking off.
Oh, that's once. I mean,
yeah, you're right. That's once. And this is why I still say the passenger is to blame. You can't blame the crazy man for being crazy, right? I mean, we have to establish that. You can't blame misfits for being misfits. They are what they are. Can't blame a criminal for stealing. That's what he does. Thieves steal. Masturbators masturbate. She's to blame because when were they going to duct tape his hands behind his back where he couldn't reach his penis? Because if they had just stopped it mid-stroke and be like, hey, you can't do that. We're locking you up in the back of the plane. We're duct taping your hands behind your back. You can deal with the police when we land. And this is all within the first 20 minutes of the flight.
Right.
Let alone the next 3.5 hours, multiple jerk sessions. Dude, if I'm on vacation, I don't even pull that off in my own house, let alone in the sky with strangers.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the first time took him an hour. He was a little bit stage fright, and he had to swap left, right hand. Yeah.
This guy sounds shy.
Yeah. So the other thing, if you think about the going to sleep, do you think that's when she found her? Well, no, because never mind. I answered my own question. I was like, do you think she found her window to then alert authorities, or in this case, a flight attendant? But that wasn't the case. He, according to the story, masturbated another 3 times. I mean, I don't know. Either I'm getting ridiculously drunk, I'm beating the living snot out of this guy, or first things first, the minute even if it's an accident, let's just say the person's got like a urethra tube, or has something where he inadvertently pulled his pants down.
You mean like a catheter?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you said that real casual, like
everyone's got a urethra tube, sir. So that's how bodies work.
A morgue butler. All right, I know my terms. But like, even if it were an accident, I might give the checkup like, "Yo, what are you doing there, man? What are you doing there?" So, no, you can't. I mean, to say you can't blame this man, that's a bit of a stretch. You can blame him. But yes, you're right. She should have alerted right away. Like, hey, this guy.
You can blame him. You can blame him for the first one, but you cannot blame him for the next 3.
That's fair.
Yeah, and I like to.
That is fair. And
we could also give this guy, assuming he finished 3 or 4 times, we could give this guy a longevity / multiple pop award for doing that in that duration. I mean, Christ, I think don't know if I speak to the crowd here, but I'm good for at least a few hours on a good day.
I'm maxing out at 2 in a day at this point in my life, and I mean that's and that takes a nap after the first one. Everything's got to reset. I need to reboot my system before I can come to again, literally and figuratively.
Can more be done? Yeah. Is it necessary? No.
Mm-mm.
But not. Yeah, the capability's there.
Right. Yeah. Till I'm 80.
My testosterone.
I don't know about that.
my testosterone's already dwindling. I feel like if I empty the pack too many times, I've just lost like a week's worth.
Right.
Drain.
That's why I was actually interested in Mr. McGarrity's age. They don't say, though. Unfortunately. Well. He'll never fly again. At least Southwest.
Southwest. That's spirit behavior. God damn it.
Do you get, when you get blackballed by a airline? Are you blackballed by all? Are you on the black book?
I don't know how that works.
I don't know. I mean, unless they put you on a no-fly list, I don't see how. I also still don't see how they can ban people from ballparks and Walmarts and things like that unless there's facial recognition software running. Like we've talked about that before. Just go in a different gate. You see the same person scanning tickets. Wear a fake mustache. Bobby Valentine yourself into a fucking stadium. How do they know?
Yeah, I mean stadiums and shit. I have sold those camera systems, and I'll find you, motherfucker. If I want to find you, I can find you. No bullshit. I'll put your face into it, and it'll be like that motherfucker's right here. That's absolutely possible. I don't know about other places like you were saying. What was the other example? Stadium.
I'd say Walmart. I would almost say it. Well, up until you mentioned that, I would have said you have a better chance of getting caught re-entering a Walmart you've been banned from before you get caught entering a stadium of 30,000 people. But because you don't go to a stadium all the time. You go to Walmart. At least I go to Walmart probably I don't know, minimum like once every 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a certain. I mean, it is a little different. Obviously, you might not get caught at the gate. You might weasel your way in, but you might might not. As a matter of fact, but Walmart, they don't give a shit. They're like, I've worked at Walmart. They'll put a picture up or something. They'll be like, this guy, it's bad. Or like we had I worked at the front, like the main desk, so like we discussed this MoneyGrams and shit. We'd have pictures of dudes and be like, do not allow this guy to send money to Chechnya. That's fucking bad. So yeah, so that definitely happens. But they still walk in. But I'm like, come on, dude. Look, it says you're a war criminal. Get the fuck out of here. Beat us. Like, kick rocks. Like,
well, we'll follow up. We'll see where Mr. McGarity. Well, I always say that we never do, but like this one, I think I got a pulse on it. I want to see what happens to Mr. McGarity, whether he does time or not. Moving on, segment we call Friend or Foe.
That's right, my friends. Time to read a news story to you. You're going to tell me if you agree or disagree, friend or foe. And this has to do with a rapper who goes by the name rapper Goonew, or like Goo On. His corpse was propped up in a nightclub while his funeral goers danced on while he on full display in a club. The 24-year-old's funeral, named, quote, The Final Show, was held at Bliss nightclub in Washington, D.C. on Sunday, and footage from inside the building appears to show the rapper's embalmed corpse overlooking the crowd, fully dressed up and wearing a crown. The audience reaction is pretty mixed. Some are dancing along to the music while others are just stone-faced, staring at the dead body in front of them. Bliss nightclub said they weren't made aware of the tribute ahead of time, according to the website, and they have apologized to anyone who was offended. The club's investigating if the body was real or not, but according to the family, the body was real, and we're not sure of any legal ramifications. Going to save this story for our legal counsel. Now, it is Goonew's final show. So, friend or foe, having the body on full display the way he would have wanted in the club. Are you up or are you down? Friend or foe? Alan?
Friend. Please make sure Kelly fucking props me up at something. Fucking open day, maybe. I don't know. Think whatever. Just make it good. Just prop my ass up. I want to be kind of pointing off into the distance, though. Just looking
into the future.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I think it's fucking hysterical. It's also quite concerning. Someone thought of this, and somebody else was like, "Yep, let's definitely do that." So it's weird, but I'm here for it.
Well, I've seen there's a big we'll just say the hip hop culture or the urban culture. They've been doing these body embalmings and like putting them on their crotch rocket, but they've been limiting this to the actual like viewing, but not an actual like going away party in a public space.
Not like at a club.
Yeah.
Where are you on this?
So first of all, let's not undermine the enormity of the event. It was called The Final Show, and I'll show you here. Show you a picture of Mr. I think it's Goonew, by the way, not Goonew.
Also, let's not sleep on the DC people. People from DCB, they're wild.
They're wilding out. Got the crown on, got the jewels on, got the shades.
Got the Amiri hoodie. Look at this guy.
One arm in the satchel, one arm on the side.
I feel like it would have been a little less creepy if they had him more at ground level, but having him up in the air like that.
I think it's the uplighting that really kills it for me. It makes him look a little like a horror, like a bad horror, like haunted house prop.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Like they could have gave my man some different lighting.
So Wes, where do you stand on this? Friend or foe?
Initially, knee jerk, I was foe. I thought, God, I'm not. It has nothing to do with someone wanting something like this done. Assuming this was his last wish. I don't know. If it isn't, it's some sort of sick joke amongst friends or family. But we'll give him, at least the person that he was, the benefit of the doubt. But I thought, yeah, that's disgusting, especially in a club. If I'm a business owner, having a fucking dead body propped up as a celebration's going on, I'm sure there's health code violations. I'm sure there's things that certain city officials wanted to know, like, oh, a dead body was propped up while a celebration was going on in your bar while drinks were being served. Huh. Cute.
Yeah.
And I don't know what DC liquor licenses cost, but if they're anything like Baltimore, those motherfuckers ain't cheap. But just thinking about it from a celebration standpoint, I'm friend on this because I'm not saying that like dead bodies are gross, but okay, like this guy, and I'm just thinking about it like how what Alan just said and how I would want to go out. I mean, I want to be cremated, but if someone's like, hey man, it would be really cool if we propped your body up and we celebrated around you for a day. All right, shit. Hell yeah. As a matter of fact, rent some guns. Fucking shoot me up. Fucking
have at it, man.
Yeah.
Did you ever wanted to hit a human body with all your might with like a baseball bat? Fucking give it a whirl.
Yeah. Axe.
Right here. Just get in the bread basket. You'll be fine.
I don't know why it turned into like mutilating the body, but
just remember, Alan wants to be put in a sack and anchored to the bottom of the bay so he can be crab food. Just remember that. So it's not.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, honestly, there's a lot of ways that. I'm gone. We'll do whatever. Yeah. Like, I mean, don't do whatever. But
I'm gonna prop you up in a Wawa bathroom stall.
No, that is also illegal to do to dead bodies.
I'll put a Bluetooth speaker behind you when you're moaning.
But yeah,
I think like
whatever.
I have no problem with the paradigm shift of non-traditional life celebrations. Okay, I'm not saying that people shouldn't get in suit and tie and stand in front of a bunch of people and tell some good stories. I'm not. But if someone decides, hey man, I want to be a little left to center. I want to be propped up and look here. I mean, this is something I didn't show earlier. I want sparklers from the ground firing up with lasers and neon lights. I want y'all to have a good time.
I think from the front, it's like not as bad, but from the side, that's a dead body.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, like they didn't hide the coat hanger very well.
Run through the appropriate outlets. Make sure that it's done safely and with some people's permission. I'm not necessarily sold that the club, quote unquote, didn't know about it. At the very least, someone in the back door was paid off
because the club manager walked out while the fucking place was empty. Right before doors opened, and was like, huh, "That wasn't there before." Fuck it. That's it. Like he didn't know. Come on, dude.
Yeah, but then again, like you usually when you're setting up for a celebration like that, you've got a lot of stuff. Obviously, they had to set up their white snake fucking sparkler shooters in the ground and stuff, and they could have got the body in there. And be like, man, that motherfucker been standing around doing jack shit all day while these other people are fucking setting up everything. And then all of a sudden, like, oh no, but I'm not opposed to this either. But where I'm going to go faux on it is, you got to give your guests, quote unquote guests, you got to give them a heads up because, like it said, the quote in this article that gets me is how. There were people dancing to the music while others are stone-faced staring at the dead body in front of them. Like, you can't do that to people. You got to say, listen, Goonew's going to be here. You got it? He's going to be on the dance floor. Yeah. Give them the option to not come.
Goonew's going to be here and not in spirit. We're talking about embalmed.
We're talking about his body.
Yeah. Yeah.
His corpse.
And at 24, I'm assuming a fair amount of the party goers here are at or around that same age, celebrating his life in a joyous situation. And this, certainly if you roll out my man in the Amiri hoodie with a crown on and his hand plopped in the front pouch with a crown on. I could certainly see someone who was having a good time celebrating this guy's life and be like, oh shit, that's him. Damn, my night's blown. I can't jerk off with either hand for an hour.
That's true.
Or just like you're somebody's plus one. Like, yo, New, what's up?
Or how many shit. How did anybody go on stage and like not realize it and like try to dap him up and then we're like, oh shit, it's a dead body.
Yeah.
Nah, didn't say that. This TMZ article was about eight sentences. Did say that there's a $25,000 reward for any information on a conviction or arrest for the murderer, because he was murdered.
Goonew.
Yeah. PG County, baby. It's the way things roll. And that, my friends, is your friend or foe.
Oy. Well, that's interesting. But I'll tell you what's even more interesting is a little segment we call Fun Fact Friday.
That's right, my friends. It's officially time to fill your brains with a little bit of extra knowledge on this Friday. OMG Facts, brought to you by the Shin Splints Recovery Group. If you got any pain below the knee and above the ankle, if you're Tiger Woodsing yourself through your world today, head on over to the Shin Splints Recovery Group. You can find them on Facebook. Let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday. Did you know lightning is 5 times hotter than the sun?
Ooh, damn. That's like a gajillion degrees, man. Right?
That's right. That's right, Big E.
Approximately.
Five times hotter than the sun. Are we talking about like the center of the sun or like the outskirts? Like the outer,
just guessing,
the outer
like,
rim?
I'm saying like maybe like a third of the way in, like
average,
right there,
like, average sun temperature,
like the meat of the sun. But isn't that amazing though that there's enough of a charge built up here? I don't understand how that's possible. I feel like it should be physically impossible, but I'm not a physicist or a scientist or a guy who did particularly well in school.
I mean, you talk to Doc Brown. You know, you could get yourself fucking shot into the future if you're able to encapsulate it at the right moment.
It's a good point. That 1.21 gigawatts. Now, why do I know that? If they would just make interesting movies that have like scientific knowledge inside of them, I'd know everything.
I think those are called documentaries, but yeah.
But okay, but you gotta have a little bit of fiction mixed in with a little bit of fact. Okay, like the Turing test. Like, I didn't know what the Turing test was until I watched that Ex Machina movie. And like all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, that's the thing that differentiates if an artificial intelligence actually has real intelligence, because that chick's hot. And I'd like to see a hot robot like that.
Are you guys?
Wawa bathroom.
Are you guys clamoring for? Oh, go ahead, Alan. You had some information on the sun's heat. Alan, Murr was talking about tatas. You were looking at.
No, I was kind of interested in Murr's. Keep going.
Now, if they made a movie about aliens helping humans build the pyramids, I'm sure you guys would be like, "Yup, look at that, historically accurate." Yes,
like Alan said, a documentary.
Yeah, but there's a dude. It's called Ancient Aliens. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's all factual.
I don't know why you, Wes, are so resistant to this possibility. Do you know how ancient the galaxies are? The entirety of the universe. This shit's gonna go as far as it can go, and eventually, eons, and a length of time that cannot be measured by the human mind, it will start to decompress and come back to center and bang, do it all over again. And we're not even done expanding yet. So why wouldn't there have been several billions of civilizations, sentient, that have come and gone and possibly visited this third little rock from the sun?
Yeah. I just rewatched the Alien series too, so I'm like, oh, yeah. We were made by aliens, man.
You get Doc Brown to sign on board with this, then you might have some traction. All right. Otherwise, I'm out.
I think Doc Brown leaves.
And if there's that much energy and lightning, I'm not saying it's easy, but nothing is. Like, why aren't we harnessing that shit? Why aren't we sending up like little probes into like storm clouds and like sucking electricity out of there? Like, batteries that fall back to the ground, like all juiced up and ready to power a city. That's a lot of shit. 5 times hotter than the sun. I mean, that's 5 times the amount of energy you get from sunbeams.
Not necessarily, but I don't think the equation works out that way.
Yeah.
Show me the math.
One, it's extremely difficult, I believe, to just capture fucking lightning, and we do it. We just have to do it in other ways. We create electricity through fucking everything else under the sun, water.
But lightning is electricity.
Solar.
We wouldn't have electricity if it wasn't for lightning, because that goddamn key where Franklin apparently sent his kid out.
No, we would have it. Someone found it. It existed already. Somebody had to like give it a name. It was like, this is hot.
That's where they came with the Hot Boys.
Facts.
The rap group.
That's another fun fact, by the way. Franklin gets all the credit for flying the kite with the key on it, but he actually sent his kid out to fly the kite. Oh shit!
He was like, "This motherfucker's gonna fry."
Do you think that's why Mr. Wizard used to put the kids in front of him when he did the experiments? Like, ooh, if something's gonna blow up, you're gonna take a blunt end of this, buddy. Skip.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't Dr. Wizard. That's because he was an asshole. He was disbarred. Did you know Coca-Cola makes so many different beverages that if you drank one per day, it would take you over 9 years to try them all?
Jesus. God damn.
By the way,
What?
I was Dr. Fizz at the World of Coke in Atlanta, Georgia, where Coca-Cola was born, and I actually got to taste a real life soda jerked original recipe, possibly some cocaine in the syrup at the World of Coke. And yeah, they have this whole. Remember how you were talking about the beers at Epcot Center West?
Yeah,
they've got a whole tasting room of all Coke's beverages from around the world. And yeah, so if you tried a new one every day, it would take you 9 years.
Yeah, it's a shade under 3,300. That's incredible. I mean, I'm assuming you're thinking there's probably got to be some worldwide stuff that things in countries that we just don't have access to or know about. There's probably kids drinks. I'm not saying they make Capri Sun, but there's probably some things like that we people our age don't consume or know about. Murray, you may, I don't know if your kid's into some of the pouchy stuff. But other than soft drinks, do they make anything non-carbonated? I mean, right? Like there's water. Dasani, right?
Yep, Dasani's Coke.
Yeah. Well, I just know that like it's different palates for different cultures. Like I know the one that I remember the most was like Spain, and it was a non-alcoholic, but it was essentially just wine, like carbonated wine. It tasted like a really dry red wine that was carbonated, like a sparkling red wine. Like, who would drink this?
Yeah,
so is it
bitter?
all, is it all just Cokes, or is it all like? Is it like Sprites and fucking?
No, like okay. Imagine like if you go to a soda machine that's Coke owned, like you've got what? You got Coca-Cola, you got Sprite, you got Diet Coke, you got Do they do no Mountain Dew's Pepsi, but is it or Mellow Yellow stuff like that? But yeah, but worldwide. So imagine if you had an entire globe's worth of like soda varieties, and that's what they have going on.
Huh? Yeah, that's interesting. That'd be kind of fun. And like, did they include all of their drinks, or is it just the sodas? So like, no water, obviously. I mean,
beverages, just beverages. But water, I mean, come on, that's like one
like energy drinks, like
yeah.
I'm sure at this point, I mean, it's a little under 3,300 variation. So yeah, whatever you can think of. Yeah,
I would assume because like Monster energy drinks. I worked for Pepsi, so I remember like the little Starbucks Frappuccino. Like those were theirs. Fucking Amp energy drinks. Fucking all the Mountain Dews. All the flavored varieties of Mountain Dews. All the Mountain Dew cans. Like yeah,
dude. I used to pound those fucking Starbucks Frappuccino things, and they're in like a glass. It's only about like 8 ounces. I don't know, like 6. Yeah. And then you read. Then when I finally got older and I read the like ingredients on the back when they finally mandated labels, it's like 310 calories, like 50 grams of like fat. Like holy.
It's basically just cream and fucking sugar with like a dash of Starbucks coffee.
Did you know a space vehicle must travel at a rate of 7 miles per second in order to escape Earth's gravity?
I did not know that.
To get out of our atmosphere and into
7
space.
miles per second. Yep.
Damn, I didn't know that. I listen. I'm not doubting that spaceships travel that fast, but that seems. I mean, they are going. Like, I guess they're going what, like at certain points at the height when both blasters are going. They're going what, like 32,000 miles an hour. So I guess that could be
something like that.
7 miles a second. Jesus Christ! Yeah. Those cameras are damn good. Make it look sweet.
Dude, think about strapping your. No, that's why, like, we've kind of lost the luster of like what space travel is, like, and how dangerous it is. Did you guys watch that movie with Ryan Gosling playing Neil Armstrong?
I have not seen
First Man or something like that. Shit
Try not
movie.
to watch a whole lot of Ryan Gosling films. Not gonna lie.
Look, shit film. Okay, don't even watch it. Go on YouTube and just find the scene where they're blasting off the launch pad. It is the most realistic depiction of what that must have been like, because it ain't pretty. It ain't glamorous. Whatever Bezos and Musk are doing right now, it's a walk in the park compared to what these assholes are going through.
Right.
You're just talking about like rivets like popping out because it's fucking just like, it's okay. Some guy, we got rivets shooting across the floor. It's okay. It's we've planned for that. It's
backup
redundancy. Yeah, backup rivets. And just the jostling and the fucking shaking. They were just finding out the formula of oxygen and hydrogen to fire that would get a fucking piece of metal out of the sky. That's all they were doing.
Yeah, these guys aren't jerking off 4 times in an hour. I'll tell you that. That wouldn't happen.
Put your hand.
They wish they could be so accomplished.
Tell you what, you strap a hand to a cock, and they might be more than 4 times.
7 miles
Did
a
you
minute.
know?
Oh, sorry, go ahead. That's it. Yeah, sorry.
No,
that's fascinating, by the way. I did not know that. 7 miles a minute. I'm gonna use that.
7 miles a second.
7 miles a second. Yeah. Shit. I'm gonna use that in a professional setting down the road. I'm gonna say that at a very poignant moment. Did you know? And customers are gonna be like, "Oh my God, listen to this guy. It's fascinating."
Wait, hold on. At what point would you drop that into random conversation?
Yeah, right. I want to hear this.
Human achievement. When the goings get tough, you need to get out of Earth's atmosphere. Here we are. Look at me, ready to roll, firing away.
God, I'd be like, I need a new project manager.
All cylinders.
Here's a better one to drop in random conversation. Did you know wombats have cube-shaped poop?
What? That's crazy.
So square peg in the round hole actually fits for the wombat. Ew. Alan's immediately resorting to Google to. He's like, wait.
He's looking up wombat poop. Okay, I don't think we can continue until we see a screenshot of a wombat turd.
Oh, it's like a little cube. Look at it.
Giving you the share. Go for it. Like a little cube, like a die, or more like an ice cube.
Well, I don't have a size reference, but that's it right there.
Looks like a loaf of bread.
Yeah,
banana.
100. They can poop up to 100 cubes a day.
What?
100.
That's more impressive than 7 miles a second to get out of the atmosphere. 100 cubes.
I told you.
Jeez, God, what are these little bastards? Now I'm gonna Larry King you. What do these little suckers eat?
They eat mostly grass and like bugs and stuff.
To say a lot of fiber.
Right? Yeah, grass and bugs, and apparently they have like very long intestines. Yeah, and so because they fucking have that long digestive period, it dries it all out and squeezes it into like a little cube, and then they poop out cubes.
I get like I just don't know how the cube shape forms though, because at the end of the road, right, it's still got to come out of a round hole, as Wes so eloquently put. And so, like, how does it form like all like 6 sides? It just seems like you'd have maybe, I don't know, maybe 4 square sides, but then it'd be kind of like elongated in in a way. I don't understand the physics behind that, but I do know this. Before humans came around, wombats actually were the size of elephants in Australia, and then we knocked those motherfuckers down to size.
Apparently,
literally.
it says at least scientists, which who trusts scientists these days, fucking said that it gets all of the water and the nutritional value out of the food, but it's so long that it still is like, because when you poop, it just contracts, like your tubes contract and then push shit along your intestine. Like that's how the basic mechanism of digestion works. Fucking peristalsis is what it's called. But anyway, fucking it happens so many times that it dries all their food out that eventually those little contractions just turn it into a nice compact cube. And then it does come out of a round hole, you are correct, but it's already fucking just a hard cube of dried grass dung at that point. And it just pops on out.
You said up to 100. So let's say he does that. I did the math. That's 1 every 864 seconds. And you got to figure if I'll give nature and evolution the benefit of the doubt, but some of those have to be uncomfortable. Some of those have to be like a wombat going like,
I mean, there's probably big ones. Yeah. Fair.
Big wombats or big turds or both?
No, big turds.
If it comes out flat, I feel like you're all right. But if it spins into like a rhombus shape right before the exit, yeah, you're in a world of hurt.
Ain't no hurt like a wombat hurt. I'll tell you that. Those suckers. The day is just miserable from dusk to dawn.
I mean, out of 100, there's a good chance one's coming out a little awkward.
Oh yeah, and they've got like grooved tissue in their intestines, which helps to make the corners.
Yeah, that's what makes them so funky. They're pretty.
I'm over here learning about wombats while you fucking assholes just giggle about poops.
Oh, that groovy ass wombat!
Look at them dance.
Oh, shit. Oh, and finally, did you know? An average person will spend 1.5 years of their lifetime in the bathroom, moaning next to a stranger.
1.5 years. I didn't know that. I know you spend 8 years sleeping, but 1.5 years, relieving yourself, I guess.
I feel like that's undercutting it, man.
That's a mere.
It'd be longer than that.
It's a mere cry to the wombat. Figuratively and literally. Those bastards are crying. Sorry, I'm still on the wombat fact.
Well, I should have made that the last fact. I do apologize. That's too.
No, it was a perfect
rich.
follow up. 1.5 years. I do wonder if there's a margin of error for this, where there's, guy or gal takes dump and then just sits there for 20 minutes, dicking around on their phone or reading the paper. Like, I'm done. I'm wiped up. I could have been done long ago, but I do have to question whether or not there is this gray area where it's like, yes, in the studies we've done, people have lingered around and sat on the toilet for an extra 20 minutes. That way they could be tardy towards their family responsibility.
Well, not just that. I have specific games I'll only play in the bathroom, and I don't know if I've ever explained my theory on this before, but I've got a lot of like mind games and things that I play on my phone. And the reason I like to play them in the bathroom is because, it's like meditation. If you can kind of get everything, like push out all of outside distractions, one of your main distractions is bodily function. So if I'm sitting on the toilet where pee and poo can just come and go as it pleases, hopefully not come, it can just go. But I don't have to worry. My mind doesn't have to concentrate on like holding back that function. So I'm pure brain power when I'm on the shitter. I don't have to worry if anything falls out of my ass. I don't have to worry about if any pee dribbles out. I'm just sitting there, and I've even got like one of those little squatty potty like stools in front of my feet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just propped up, and all I have to do is think about what I'm doing. I don't have to worry about my body functions. And so I feel like I have extra brain power to play these games. So I save them.
I do enjoy that you feel as though you have extra brain power that could be used for something, and it's focused towards games. That's interesting.
Hey, like Wordle, okay? I play my Wordle on the shitter.
I'm not saying like you should have a notepad and write down equations and do some real hard-hitting math or write a movie script or something like that. I'm just saying, it's, you know, it is what it is. It's your time. But
it's your time. That's fair.
I'm going to boot down the door next time you're on the shit.
I usually just watch TikTok.
Yeah, TikToks.
You see, at least I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Alan doing that. I'm saying at least I found that I have, like, I don't know, 5% more brain power if I don't have to worry about my body functions. And so I save the games that require the most thought process, and I use them on the toilet.
Yeah. For what is it now? A year and a half of your life.
No, you're right. That does need to be updated because I don't know that they've updated that since the invention of the cell phone. Hadn't been around that long, and they're in I'd say they're in 90% of the general public's pocket. I'd say maybe even more than that in the United States. What do you think? 95% of all Americans probably have a cell phone.
There's probably statistics on that, but yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, and you could. I remember back when Game Boy came out, and my dumps got exponentially longer.
This started, by the way, with Tetris on Game Boy. I realized that I could get a higher score playing Tetris if I played it in the bathroom because I didn't have to worry about anything else. And that, my friends, is your Fun Fact Friday.
Oh, sorry. I was giving you the fact. 84% have smartphones. 78% owned a desktop or laptop, so maybe not as high.
Yeah, but you said smartphones. That makes me wonder about all the jitterbugs and those dementia-ridden patients that live amongst us.
Yeah. People who still crack open a Reader's Digest with something jammed in there to figure out to pick up where they left off. Have you guys ever read a Reader's Digest?
I have.
Okay. Doesn't shock me.
They were good before, honestly, before like iPads and things like that. That was solid reading material. I mean, it wasn't highbrow by any stretch, but there was all sorts of good fun facts in there. There was like nice little articles. I remember reading the article by the guy who created the A-Team, and I have a little bit of dyslexia myself, and so did he. Okay. But eventually, he sat down and he crafted the first script and the treatment for the A-Team, and it got sold. And a man with dyslexia overcame his inability to read and write properly to create one of the greatest, most beloved shows of all American time. Thank you, Reader's Digest.
Thank you. I'd say like there were so many of them in my house that someone, if you didn't know any better about my family dynamic, an outsider could have walked in and been like, damn, y'all are hoarders. Now, I'm not saying these things were packed from like floor to ceiling with Reader's Digest, but every bathroom had about 2 or 3 of them. I never read one. Okay. And my dumps were typically Sports Illustrated, Playboy. Yes. As a young boy, and some sort of like baseball almanac or sports trivia guide that was like strategically placed out through both bathrooms that I frequented.
Now, a question on the Playboys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making an articles joke, but like, were you just reading the articles in the bathroom, or were you flipping through the pictures?
I read Playboys from cover to cover, and looked at every pictorial, top to bottom, inch to inch, millimeter to millimeter. Yeah,
because I know that if I found a Playboy in a bathroom and I was trying to use the bathroom, I had to skip past the pictures, or I wasn't going to the bathroom. So I just avoided Playboys for the most part in the bathroom.
Well, I mean, like I was reading them so much. You have yes, you look through the pictorials, but then you read the interviews were always good. They always had some A-list celebrity back then, especially like the throughout the 90s. But yeah, no, I read the articles, and I looked at the gals too. It's a young boy coming of age.
Have either of you guys watched any of this? There's like a documentary about like Playboy and Hugh Hefner, like that's been airing over the last like 2 months.
No,
you guys,
is it about how much of a scumbag he was?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It's
actually, and it's more so like the bulk of it was actually about how much of like a scumbag he was about letting other scumbags be scumbags to the girls.
Oh, really?
And then it was like, then it kind of shifted focus to him. But like, my man was he was a voyeur. Let's just leave it at that. You know, he didn't necessarily need to participate. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
shit. You should check it out.
Well, it's not. I mean, like, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. It's not like Hugh Hefner was a hero of mine.
No, I was like, yeah, that's not surprising whatsoever.
Right.
I know and I understand why they're going to paint him in that light and everything, which is fair. It's fine. It is what it is. However, it's not like he was like forcing anybody to be a part of his empire. You know, I'm sure that, I mean, most of them were coming to him like, hey, can I participate in all of this and, you know, become rich and famous?
Yeah, but then, like, I mean, they were just drugged and fucking and abused. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Like, you're right, they all did, and like they all even admit that most of them are like, you know, yeah, it was. I came there and I was gonna be a fucking Playboy playmate, and then things got fucking weird. So it's kind of wild, but it's interesting to watch. It's not shit that you probably didn't already know, but it's interesting to hear some names.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
Speaking of things getting weird, and this is the Before You Go segment here at the Middle Class Holes. Missy Peterson, 40 years old. Well, she's married, soon to be formally married. Was married to someone who she labeled as a bit crude, and put him, and he had agreed to not visit strip clubs. So this gentleman, her husband, visited a lot of strip clubs. She was getting suspicious to it, tapped his car with a tracking device, found out he was at a strip club. She decided to pop in on him, pay him a visit, surprise him. She gets in there, coerces a couple strippers into giving her a thong, or I think she had a thong on and maybe like a top, and she goes out and dances in front of him, breaks up with him, and then gets tipped $100 on her way out. She didn't take her top off. She didn't get nude, but the strippers did give her like 20 minutes worth of coercing. She slammed not coercing, excuse me. Kind of, I guess, a playbook on how to act, dance, be seductive on stage. She slammed a drink, went out, flicked him off, said, "Fuck you, we're done." Filed for divorce, and then grabbed $100 on her way out the door. Your thoughts on this bombardment of her husband's, I guess, pit stop throughout the day?
Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead, Mer. What you got?
Well, I mean, look, I think strip clubs are kind of creepy and a little weird any which way. And if your wife's like, hey, like how many times are you going? Is this like your bar stop? Like, is this like where you go and just, because that's weird. You know, like if you go out like once a year because your buddy's like, hey, let's go to the strip club. It's like, all right, fine. If that's what we're doing, that's what we're doing to the strip club. But if this is like your staple and your wife is like, hey, you know, I'm at home. If you want to see that action, I got it for you here. Like, yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of funny that she went and did it for the whole crowd. Like, hey, how's it feel having everybody ogle me? Doesn't that make you feel weird? Fuck you. Goodbye. I mean, it's kind of a good revenge. Usually I don't like this kind of stuff, but I kind of respect her for it.
Yeah. No, I think it's a fair trade-off. When can he really get mad? You know what I mean? Like at that point. So interesting. Yeah. I don't know. Don't go to strip clubs are weird, man. Like I don't know. I don't get it. It's very like it's wasteful, money wise. Like I'm just like not that like you know, not a penny pinching kind of guy, but it just seems like a wasteful way to use my money. I can blow it other ways that are more enjoyable.
Strip clubs are what they are. They can be. I haven't been to one in a while, but even when I was like quote unquote frequenting them, like maybe once or twice a year, maybe. And point is like, okay, this guy here obviously was put on a you can't go list anymore. All right. Yeah. He needed to buck up or shut up. He needed to say, look, I'm going and that's that. And if you don't want to be with me, leave. Or the alternative is what we just witnessed. I mean, he's like, fine, I won't go. And he can't fucking help himself. You can call it a problem. You can call it not a problem. It is. He's addicted. He likes to go. He likes to swing by. Missy did what she needed to do and made out with a cool hundo on her way out the door. Fuck you. I think it's great. I think it's like, most of the times I'll side with the guy on this with the girl like, oh, he was at a strip club. Like, come on. It's a fucking strip club. It is what it is. Obviously in this relationship, he agreed to, I'm not doing that. That like, I'm done. I won't be there anymore. She had to put a fucking tracking device on his fucking car. And he's sitting there with glitter all over his face. And she was like, fuck this clown.
All right, now I'm starting to backtrack a little bit because the tracking device on the car seems a little excessive because you already know where he's going. I mean, were you trying to figure out which one he was at? Because if you put it on the car, you knew he was going there in the first place. And then there's a lack of trust. However, he earned the lack of trust. But then she went and made $100 in 20 minutes. So I also feel like she may have found herself a new career where she'll be able to see her husband more often.
By the way, at 40 years young, just pretty good. This isn't her, by the way. This is
she's
her.
Got a little. She's had a few injections.
She's had some work done. Yeah. Her testimonial on Twitter has gotten 3.9 million views. So
of course it has.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Right, go back to that picture real quick. Is this attractive? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't you rather have, like, she obviously had like some base, if you don't have it, don't worry about it. She obviously had some base level of, you know, maybe she was a little homely, but pretty, like, but that's like, what is that? Can you see past that? Because I can't see past that. I can't see past the work that's been done there.
Well, the eyebrows are obviously look like there's some sort of Van Gogh artwork, and the lids here. There's just some extensions.
It's not my brand of tea, but
here we are deflecting of this woman's work as opposed to her James Bond-esque detective work to figure out where her man was. The fucking GPS in the car shows up, comes in disguise, by the way. So we know that strip club, well, she wasn't banned from strip clubs, but she shows up in a wig and then earns the court of a public opinion's thumbs up from the strippers. And like, oh my God, we'll help you out. Look at you, you're like a vigilante. Yeah.
Of course, a bunch of women who have been jaded by men their entire lives, which is what got them on the stage in the first place. This is their fucking cup of tea. She's their fucking, like, she's their queen now.
Yeah. Well, hey, man. Don't go to strip clubs if you ain't allowed to go. That was your marriage. You signed up for
What does that mean, though? You're right. I think the guy's a scumbag for continuing to go to strip clubs.
Hold on. Okay.
However...
Okay. But let me interject real quick. And I understand, like, I don't want to, like, however... if you were to come down to Baltimore, would you need Maria's permission to go to a hustler club for 30 minutes?
I wouldn't tell her.
Okay. Alan?
I don't know if that's good or bad, but it would be. I might. Well, what'd you guys do? We went out to a bar. What bar? Oh, and then I'd tell her the name of the bar, and she'd be like, "Well, what's that?" And I'm like, "Well, it's a strip club. We just went for a few minutes." Then she'd be pissed off at me, yada yada yada, and it's just like, so why would I tell her? Like, I'm not gonna tell you up front because we're gonna have the fight. I'd rather have the fight post than have the fight pre. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
She's not gonna be happy about it, and I don't. And in all honesty, I don't blame her.
Right.
But if you guys are all going out there and that's where the hangout is, I'm also an adult and I'm going to be like, I don't even like strip clubs. I got nothing from this except for like a $7 Heineken. So it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah. If anything, it made me miserable. No, I would tell her up front because she just would like to know, but she wouldn't be like, "Don't go." She'd just be like, "You can't, don't get a lap dance." I'd be like, "Okay," because I'm not paying for that.
Yeah, it's. I think Sarah would just say, "Don't fucking uncork a shit ton of money, buy some beers, throw some dollars." And leave it at that. Although, Alan, when you said you don't enjoy yourself, I do remember a particular time when we were here, not too far down there.
I did in a day.
No,
okay?
No, what I'm saying is, I won a square during a Super Bowl party and didn't realize it, and won $200. And I said, we should go to the strip club, and then just handed Alan like $40 in once, and he was like. Wee!
Oh man, those days of the Super Bowl party at fucking Sliders.
Yeah,
we'd always have a Super Bowl party with some fraternity brothers and a few other friends, and we would always go to fucking Scores. It would become a goddamn shit show.
This was the Broncos Seahawks Super Bowl for. This wasn't like 2 years ago. Just to give you a frame of reference on time.
Nice. Good times.
Dude, I used to have to do live broadcasts from a strip club. So she knew I was going to that strip club. So I used to have to do these live broadcasts from a strip club in Seaford, Delaware. So imagine what the ladies in Seaford, Delaware looked like. And they would walk up to me constantly while I was trying to do this fucking, like, "Hey, baby, you want to dance?" Like, "No, I'm working." "I am too." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I know. I'm not interested." Like, "Oh, fuck you." And then this would be the exit. This would be their exit line. "Well, fuck you then." Like,
I'm glad to know strippers in Seaford sound like Selma from The Simpsons.
Well, their voice boxes have been roughed up by more than cigarettes in Seaford, Delaware. I know that.
Oh shit. That was before you go. Alan, tell the kiddos and the kiddies and the kidettes where you can find the Middle Classholes.
The kidettes, eh? Of course, you can always find us on your favorite social media platforms. We're on Instagram and Twitter at MDL Classholes. You can find us on Facebook as the Middle Classholes, and of course, the Middle Classholes as well on TikTok. And for your listening pleasures, please catch us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. And don't forget our favorite mode of communication, traditional email. That's right. We like attachments, PDFs, all types. Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, if you have them, drop them on in there. We fucking love it. You can send those to tickleourtummies@gmail.com. That's right, tickleourtummies@gmail.com.
I think at this point, we'll even take a notepad file.
Yeah, that'd be fine. You can send me something that we can't even open. You send me like a CAD drawing, like a construction. I don't have the technology, but we'll take it.
I'm assuming we got nothing more.
No, yeah. I mean, well, we have something from the GoFundMe, which is let's see. This is meet Kai, the 15-year-old who asks for donations to cancer research for every birthday. Do you guys want to be depressed, or would you like me to stop there?
Nah, we're good.
Yeah.
Not many kids get exactly what they want for their birthday for 10 years in a row, but since Kai Martin was 5 years old, that's precisely what happened. However, he never asks for a typical kid his age what they might ask for. All he wants for his birthday year after year is people to donate to cancer research. Fuck you, Kai, for depressing me.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Kai, for being a better person than me.
What is his first name? Cobra? Yeah.
As a child. Damn it. We blew it. All that good work for that.
If you're so hot on cancer, Kai, why don't you cure it?
Ooh. You know, lightning is 1,000 times hotter than the sun. So I'm sure if you encapsulate some of that, you could probably run that through some cancer-coursed veins.
So, okay, this just in. Wes Fox wants to electrocute cancer patients.
Not repeatedly, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Hey, just remember, if you die, so does the cancer.
That's right.
Cured.
Booyah. All right, folks. Hey, man, Masters this weekend. Baseball's back. Enjoy yourselves. No more COVID jokes because COVID's over. And kind of.
I think we were just like, well, it's over now, whether you like it or not.
Wait, okay, I know we've already done before you go on. Is it over? Is it over? Honestly,
the new cases curve is still at like 25,000 new a day, but I don't know.
Kind of flattened out. There've been 2 new variants that have popped up, but no research really on them. But like, I was talking to Kelly today, and Hopkins campus and all of them went back to like masks and testing protocols that they had already let loose of. So it's usually an interesting sign when Hopkins is like, yeah, all of our buildings back to it.
So you're saying it's over?
Yeah, I mean, depends on what you want to. Hey, look, I believe the American government has said, fuck it. Yeah. So, whatever you're feeling, I think is kind of.
So basically, Russia cured COVID. As soon as they attacked Ukraine,
I'd like to say that Ukraine
was over.
cured COVID, but yeah, either way.
Good call. I like that. Yes.
Yeah. And come to think of it, they never mentioned whether or not the Southwest Jerker offer was masked up or not. I want to know now.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Well, you had to have somewhere to wipe it.
Well, it said he tasted it or something. That shit was wild. It said that in the article.
He did what?
Pull that article back up. Hold on. Pause. Captive audience.
Well, I mean, they're not serving. I mean, because of COVID, they're not serving snacks on the plane. So what else are you going to do for protein?
See, there you go. All right, broadcast. There's our thing.
Oh God,
I thought we'd get done in an hour and a half.
We were almost there.
Here we are, leaking. Yuck, yuck.
we can cut. This is actually. I don't get disgusted by much of anything, but this is actually starting to get me there. But I am interested, so find that information.
So you weren't disgusted by the Selma and Patty?
I might not be able to open the article now. It wants me to subscribe.
Ooh. Oh, that's a shame.
But there was if you saw the article, there was a little snippet of a court document.
Oh, yeah.
And it says that the fucking lady thought, I guess the witness thought she saw him lick a white substance off his fingers. Mm. Yeah. I thought we caught that. I don't know. I apologize.
No, we certainly didn't talk about him licking his cum off his fingers.
I was reading that article for a second. I must not pay attention.
we missed that extremely
hey,
long.
ladies and gentlemen. Hey, remember that update Wes said we never do, but we definitely do sometimes? He licked jizz off his fingers.
Mr. McCarty has a bit of a tick. Like scum off himself. All right, folks. On that note, double salute. Good night.